We all face challenges, crucibles in life that make us or break us. What matters is how we respond to such roadblocks. That's really what defines us. Through inspirational stories from all walks of life, this podcast will provide you with techniques to overcome and grow from life's most challenging experiences. Hey everybody, I'm MaryLee Atenhan, and my motivation to become a certified health coach didn't result from a single experience or one single aha moment, but rather the course of my 40 years as a vocal music teacher. With the right balance of support and encouragement, I've seen so many of my students flourish into success stories. They overcame adversities to become who they were destined to be. Today, I work alongside adults who have neglected their own health and wellness, coaching them to success with lifelong transformations while teaching them healthy habits. Hello, everybody. I'm coming to you live from the Dividend Studios in Brentwood, Tennessee for my podcast, Crucible. What a crazy title, right? I mean, what does crucible even mean? I literally had to look it up in the dictionary, and Webster defines it as a transformative experience through which an individual comes to a new or an altered sense of identity. Now, that is something that I can totally relate to because I've come through some pretty tough, horrific crucibles myself, and to become a victor and not a victim. Can I share something with you, though, that has paralyzed me with shame that very few people know about me? I have battled an eating disorder and a poor body image since I was 13. I was coping with the tragic loss of my dad and having my life as I completely knew it changed in a split second as my dad was tragically killed in an airplane crash. I became an emotional eater. Maybe you do it too, I don't know. But we're going to talk about numbing ourselves with things like drinking, binge watching, drugs, social media, food, and much, much more. Hey, I'm no expert for sure. I'm not a psychologist. I'm not a licensed therapist. I've learned simply from the school of hard knocks. I'm a retired vocal music teacher, and I've turned into a certified health coach in the last 3 years. And my goal in life is to make a difference to help make your life better. So why am I doing this podcast? I originally started this with health and wellness as my main focus, but this has quickly turned into something exponentially more. My podcast is about offering humor and hope and faith, and to see that you're not alone in your own struggles. You will find hope and faith in seeing how other people have navigated through their own crucibles, through tough experiences in life. And this is done to share with you in an effort to help you as my listener. You'll hear interviews with us. I'm just going to share a few of our special guests, like Brett Wetton, who had all the cards stacked against him from the age of 5. Maggie Malone, a 2-time Olympian, and how she navigated crushing disappointment through Rio Olympics and came back, did the Tokyo, and she's now going to compete in Paris in 2024. Dr. Clark Rausch, dealing with cancer and losing his beautiful wife to cancer in just a very few short months. Becky Williams, who has an incredible health journey story through weight loss surgery. Those are just a few. And these people and many, many more have touched my life, and they themselves have lived through some pretty incredible crucibles. But they've come out victoriously on the other side. You can expect from me some humor, humility for sure, faith, and maybe some language. Yes, I'm a Jesus girl. I'm not perfect, and you will get total transparency also as I share my crucibles that I've lived through that I share with my guests. As a certified health coach, I've had hundreds of people approach me who have lost all hope, all belief that they can really lose weight this time and keep it off. Totally skeptical. I was too. As clients shed their weight, their mindset slowly starts to change from defeat to empowerment, from hopelessness to believing in themselves. They hold themselves accountable, and ultimately they achieve success with their mind and their body. With the new year on the horizon, now is the time for a new you with new goals and a new day and a new year. I mean, why not? But I get it. You need to ask yourself, why not me? I tried every diet that I could find and had never successfully kept my weight off. With the help of our life book, which is an interactive journal on the habits of health, I've been able to go from an eating disordered mindset to victory and keeping my weight off these past 3 years, from what I've learned about myself through this program with the help of our awesome community. So here are 3 things that you can do today to get started on a healthier you. Here's my first health tip. Drink water. Drink more water. Drink a gallon of water a day. Drink half your body weight in ounces of water. That should be your goal ultimately. For me, that's 110 ounces, and that seems to work great. This will help to flush out those toxins from our cells, from the many food additives that the food industry adds into the food that we eat, both from the grocery store and, of course, when you eat out. Drinking water, did you know, is also a cure to stave off your hunger cravings? Many times people have a craving, but they're actually dehydrated and they just need water. I mean, this happens to me all the time because I get consumed in a project like Christmas decorating the last couple of weeks, or making Christmas presents, which is one of my most favorite things to do. I love doing crafts. I completely forget to drink water because I'm so obsessed, usually in the moment or with my glue gun. Then my brain sends me a single, hey, MaryLee, you're hungry. And it's like, wait a minute, am I really hungry or not? How much water have I had? What time of day is it? Oh my gosh, I've only had 8 ounces of water and it's like noon, and I should have had probably 32 ounces by that point. So I quickly down and chug about 24 ounces of water. I wait 10 to 15 minutes and then my food craving goes away. So number 1 health tip is drink water. So my second health tip is keep your blood sugar level by eating 6 times a day. I know that sounds crazy, right? But you need to eat every 3 hours with healthy snack options. And one of those being a meal that's filled with 12 ounces of vegetables and 5 to 7 ounces of lean protein. I used to rely on caffeine, and I was a Diet Coke addict and a coffee addict for sure. That was the only way I could get, one, a break from my classroom and the kids that were in my classroom that were driving me nuts and noisy and totally out of control. And I could walk down to the teacher's lounge and have a cup of coffee. But in actuality, I realized over the years that I'm probably borderline hypoglycemic. And I needed something to eat as well as water because I was always dehydrated. So your hunger pains will go away with your body fueled every 3 hours and drinking 8 ounces of water every 3 hours. So my third health tip, which is probably most important, is to do a mental inventory of your mindset. Do you have a scarcity mindset or do you have an abundance mindset? What on earth do I mean by a scarcity mindset or even an abundance mindset? This is something that you're going to learn on this podcast. I grew up with an abundance mindset, and another thing that I want to share with you that no one probably remembers from my high school years, but I was voted as a senior best dressed female in high school, which chuckle, if you know me, that is so true today because I'm all about fashion, shoes, jewelry, purses, clothes, accessories, everything. It's always been a passion of mine. But I literally took abundance to a whole nother level. But my other moniker in high school was most likely to succeed. And that has stuck with me my entire life. In my beginning years of my career, that was one thing that I would think about often, that, hey, my classmates voted me, most likely to succeed. So I need to do this and I need to do whatever, and pull up my bootstraps and conquer basically. So here's another mindset belief. Do you feel overwhelmed? Are you stressed and you don't have enough time to take care of yourself? Or do you believe that there's only now, there's no past, and that you are the source of controlling your time and that you are worth it? Is your happiness dependent on your circumstances, or do you choose to make yourself happy? A story from our past that's just deeply scarred both my husband and I was we declared bankruptcy in 1984, the year my daughter was born. She was the only positive thing that happened to us. So my husband had to go to work. He lost his entire family farm, generations of owning this farm. And there was a lot of shame, a lot of just self-doubt for sure, and everything negative that you can throw into that to that barrel. It was in there, except for my daughter. And we've come out of that, and we have come out of that to be, to have that abundance mindset. So that was a huge lesson for both of us, to realize that we kind of slipped and dipped down into that, scarcity mindset of feeling like, well, what else is going to happen? What else am I going to feel at? What else, is going to rain down on us? Anyway, but through all that, we've always been happy, and we've always had that belief that no matter where you're at, your circumstances don't depict or make you feel, either happy or sad. It's really up to you. So, do you often feel like you have no discipline, or think, I have to do this, I should be doing da 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 da, and on and on and on? Or do you choose to do this because it'll benefit you for the good? That's another mindset belief. Here's one that is, as well as played a huge role in my life. But what is your purpose in life? Do you feel like you don't have one, or is it a role that you play? Are you literally stepping on stage and becoming a different person? Or are you sitting on the sidelines and watching your life go by? Or do you go out, declare your purpose, and go out and get it? Is your leadership of influence heaped with have-tos, burdens, or you simply don't have it? Or are there skills and techniques that you've mastered and learned, and you create a positive influence and effective leadership? So I have another secret I want to share with you that has been a positive, that has had a positive effect on me since I was 12 and my self-esteem. But I have an Indian name. This is always my game winner when people say, tell us something that nobody else knows about you. So this is usually what I share, and everybody just sits there slack-jawed because nobody can believe it, but it's true. So I had a babysitter when I was growing up, and she was a full-blooded Sioux Indian. I grew up in Scottsbluff, Nebraska, and I loved her. Her name was Ida Hawk, and Ida actually named her granddaughter after me, which was, we just both had such a sweet love for each other. But she taught us her native tongue, and I remember a lot of the Sioux Indian words that she shared, but one of them was "we use skimpy," which means be happy. And she'd say that all the time, and then she'd just chuckle. And I can still remember her to this day sitting at our kitchen table saying stuff like that. And my mom, through a Campfire Girls project, my mom has always been my biggest cheerleader. But she helped me define myself through the project was to come up with your own Indian name and then the meaning. So my Indian name is Chukinka, which means, and when I share that, everyone looks at me like, what the heck? What does that mean? And it is kind of funny, but it means, and this is the meaning we came up with, happy otter, because I love to swim, who swims upstream and learns to do difficult things well. So that was a powerful moniker for me, and it stuck with me in all those times that I've doubted myself or thought I couldn't achieve whatever it was that I was up against. To have a successful career, to have a successful marriage, and to have, to be a successful parent. So all of those things are just part of being having your mindset in the right place and in abundance. I can help you if you want to change your health. If you're open, if you give the effort, if you don't give up, if you're coachable, and if you take accountability for your actions. No more blaming, whatever. We all do it. I can't do this because blah, blah, blah. Or I'm going to wait until after all these events happen and then I'll do it, But ultimately, it's up to you as an individual to, make a decision. So living a healthy life is not just about being at a healthy weight, but also living that mindset that is above the line. Also working out, living in healthy surroundings, having a community that supports you, and having the faith that with God, you can do all things. It is time for a new day, for new goals, a new year in 2022, and a new you. Now is the time. Are you brave enough? Are you desperate enough? Or are you just crazy enough to step into 2022 as a new you? Let's do this together.